You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
We all have smartphones, and we all know they're pretty amazing, but they also can be amazingly distracting, especially when we're around other people. So US Cellular wants us to reset our relationship with our phones by putting down our phones for $5. That's right, a company that sells phones wants us to put down our phones. And to see what we find, learn more at uscellular.com/built for us.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident fanalist, as always, Ryan Schlipp. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_daddy. Well, I want to get caught up on a couple little random things out there. I want to go through some of the comments made by a few of the players in the locker room and whatnot. Nothing earth-shattering, but worth talking about. First of all, there were a couple player retirements for those interested. Running back David Johnson officially announced his retirement at the age of 32 years old. Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver Devontae Parker also announced his retirement at the age of 31. In other league news, the NFL meetings in Nashville, there is a strong sense, and I believe it's actually officially confirmed now, but a strong sense will say that Pittsburgh will be awarded the 2026 NFL draft. So I'm actually glad that it's like Detroit and Pittsburgh kind of sandwiching Green Bay, because I would never have any interest to go to either of those cities. And so I don't have to worry about wanting to have to go to back-to-back things, you know what I mean? Like there's FOMO when you're talking Vegas, Miami, Tampa, Nashville, places like that. I'm not going to Pittsburgh or Detroit. Some NFC North news. It looks like rookie tackle Karan Amagaji will not participate in OTAs or rookie minicamp due to a quadricep injury. So the guy that they drafted to be a backup can't even fulfill that role. So well done, Chicago. One of the topics I had mentioned before about the Detroit Lions is with Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back. And the question was, what do you do? Do you look at it and say he's got some talent and we drafted him early so he needs more usage? Or do we say he's not really built for heavy usage, we need to limit his usage? Well, according to GM Brad Holmes on the Rich Eisen show, he said, quote, would definitely expect Jahmyr Gibbs to see more of a load. I don't know why he had to phrase it like that, but And that could be positive or negative from a Packers fan perspective. It could be negative if the guy can stay healthy and really does have a pretty dangerous impact. The negative from Detroit's standpoint is you're really playing with fire, taking a guy like that and trying to put more on his shoulders. The entire reason Gutekunst likes 220-plus pound running backs is because they hold up a little bit better under the absolute brutal beating that running backs take. So we'll see. Minnesota Vikings updates, nothing really substantive, but I figured it would annoy Vikings fans for me to mention it, so I'll mention it. Justin Jefferson did not show up to OTAs. He's been in talks about a contract extension. Obviously, this is not a big deal, but pretending it's a big deal really annoys a lot of people, and I find it funny. That is a real hot-button issue, too. When you mention who didn't show up to OTAs, it's like, how dare you? You shouldn't talk about... Don't report who shows up. It's voluntary. Don't talk about it. I don't understand that. What are you so sensitive about? They made a decision. Why does it need to be hidden? Is it a shameful decision, or can we just talk about it like it's no big deal? I've talked about it before. There's a lot of different ways that you can split people up into, quote-unquote, two camps. And I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I think there's another two camps thing. There's the rights versus responsibilities people, and I'm sure you can guess what side of that I fall on. It's the responsibility side. But the people who are the rights people, man, they get pissed when you talk about people that didn't show up to OTAs. They hate it. How dare you? As a final note, to all the rights people, I love you and thank you for looking out for everybody's rights. Let me just say I have the right to call Yo Mama a wide load as she waddles her way down the street. But just because I have the right to doesn't mean that I should, because people have other obligations. Can legally and should are different things. Voluntary OTAs just means the NFL says you're not allowed to fire that guy for not showing up. And the team says, fine. It doesn't mean you still should show up. I'm not talking about Justin Jefferson. I'm on my own thing right now. This is a contract dispute, I'm assuming. And again, I bring it up to piss off Vikings fans. Oh, another thing that I'm going to bring up to annoy Vikings fans. This just reported, rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy took third team reps during Tuesday's OTAs behind Sam Darnold and Nick Mullins. The number 10 overall pick is viewed as the quarterback of the future, but will likely be eased in slowly. Week 7 could be a potential target date for his first regular season action. Let's look at that real quick. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. It's right after the bye. I don't know if you would want your first action to be... I mean, it is at home, but it's against the Lions. I feel like if... Let's play with this a little bit. When would you want him to come in? You could make a case for week 1. It is on the road, but it's the Giants. That might be the easiest game you're going to play all year. And so you can get a little bit of confidence, but he's coming in ice cold, and he's going to get absolutely rocked by the 49ers in week 2. This is assuming he has to play this year. I understand there's an argument of how about he just doesn't play and Sam Darnold plays and let the guy learn. I get it. We're just playing here. We're having a little bit of fun. I'm looking at this. When would we want him to come in? Not the 49ers, not the Texans. As a Packer fan, I would love it if he debuted at Green Bay week 4, but that's not going to happen. Jets would be brutal. Bye week, and then the Lions. Like we mentioned before, this schedule sucks. At the Rams, the Packers handle the Rams pretty well, but I don't know that that's necessarily everybody. They're still a playoff team. I think Colts at home, maybe this could be the stretch here. You got Colts at home. Then you go play the Jaguars. These aren't easy games, but it's like, okay. Winnable. Tennessee Titans, Chicago Bears, Arizona Cardinals, Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears. And then that's kind of your stretch. Then you got Seattle, Green Bay, Detroit. Yeah, I'd be tempted to, depending on how the supporting cast is doing, be looking a little bit more around week 9. Maybe even week 8 against the Rams, depending on the assessment of their defense, which I'm not going to do right now because it's not that interesting of a question. But, yeah, I was just curious where that was coming from, and it's just a bye week. I think just don't right. You're not going to the playoffs, right? It's not going to happen. And if it looks like you are going to the playoffs, then it sounds like things with Darnold are going pretty well, unless everybody else is just so elite that they're dragging a dead weight Darnold around, and they're like, boy, if we just had a sucky quarterback as opposed to this abysmal piece of crap, we could actually do something. Then fine, put J.J. McCarthy in. There's no reason to do it this year. There's not going to be a realistic scenario where that's going to be the thing that makes the most sense. Let the guy sit. Let the guy learn. This is coming from an impartial observer. As a Packer fan, play him week 1. Put him out there. Give him some false confidence against the Giants. Then come out, get absolutely embarrassed against the 49ers, embarrassed against the Texans, embarrassed against the Packers and the Jets, and then bench him after week 6 and just destroy his confidence. That would be... From, Packer fan perspective, that's the way to do it. But why would you? I don't know. But he's third team, so ha losers. Oh, I know it doesn't matter, but it's funny. Not funny. T.J. Hawkinson had a tear in his right ACL and MCL, pretty brutal injury. There isn't currently a timeline on his return. The progression has been incredible, but a specific return date is uncertain. Week 5 versus the Jets in London is possible, but post-bye week 7 is more realistic. So pretty unlikely we'll be seeing Hawkinson in our first matchup. Additionally, and I know this has been swirling and there's no real details out there, but there's very obviously going to be a pretty hard push, I would say, in the not too distant future. I don't know exactly what that timeline looks like, but... sooner rather than later, there will be an 18-game season. Here was Roger Goodell kind of touching on that.
We would do it in the context of reducing the number of preseason games. We think that's a good trade. Less preseason games and more regular season games.
What kind of timeline are you thinking?
It is something that we think about in the long-range context. Again, moving to quality. and making sure that we're doing everything possible to bring our fans what they want. And they want, obviously, more football. But I'm not sure they want more preseason football.
And I will, once again, give you my stance on that. Yes, please. Players don't like it. I get it. I probably wouldn't either. That's fine. But I'm not playing football. I'm consuming it, and I want as much as possible. And if teams have to take measures to prevent injury, such as maybe resting guys, higher rotation, changing your strategy to some degree, that's fine. That's how football is. It evolves. You have to figure out how to keep your players healthy. But the sooner we can get to 365 days of actual meaningful football, I don't actually mean like a 40-game schedule that goes around the clock, but in terms of filling up the gaps a little bit better, 18 games pushes the season out a little longer, push back the Super Bowl, push back the draft, push back OTAs, everything kind of creeps into that little dead period there where there's nothing left. Anyways, why don't we get to some of the quotes here from the players. I'm going to do this a little bit differently than I've done it in the past. I want to kind of, rather than go through each individual person, kind of go through different categories and then the comments that each guy had, because there's a lot of repeating of different things. So for starters, kind of just commenting on learning/development of the team or the individual. Start off with Jordan Morgan.
How's the learning process going for you?
It's going really good. The learning process, it's a lot of stuff they throw at you at the start, but it's expected. They want to see what you can hold, you can grasp mentally, and get on the field and see if you can perform it. It's been going really good for everybody.
How hard is it in that process to be flipping back and forth, play left side and play right side for a while? What's that like?
How hard is it flipping back and forth?
It's challenging at the beginning, but the more you study, the more you pick up, the more you understand, and that's what they try to get across to us, and that's what we've been doing, just studying, even when we're not even here, just studying extra and getting in the books, and you get on the field, just make sure you have everything ready. And, that's pretty much it.
There's a little bit from Jordan Love.
How different do you feel this year now as a 1 year fully entrenched starter, having that experience under your belt coming into this season?
Yeah, I feel a little bit more comfortable. Obviously had a full season to get a lot of reps and learn and grow. So definitely feel a lot more comfortable each year I've been here, and this year even more so.
More comfortable with where to go with the ball midway through last year. Did that start in meetings? Did that start during games on the field? When did you start to sense that? What part of it?
Yeah, I think all of those things are important. It starts in the meeting room. We go over the film, being able to talk through where I need to be going with the ball, little mistakes I might make, and just being able to learn in the meeting room. And then obviously you got to take it to the field and practice, and you got to make it come to life. So I think all the phases are important. It starts in the meeting room. That's why I think it's so important that guys are here. We get to watch all the reps from last year, learn from the plays, focus on what plays we want to do better this year and things like that. So I think everything's important. Meeting room, practice, games, all ties in.
Here's a little bit from Watson talking about his, preparation, which includes probably the most important thing, which is how's the hamstring and what are you doing about it?
What did you kind of do in Madison? Kind of walk us through what they had you doing and how you feel like it's helped you.
It's a lot. It's honestly hard to explain. I kind of just, asked at the end of it, what do I got to do? And they, kind of just, told me things I can do to help. But it's really just kind of all the biomechanics of the lower half of the body, just kind of going through that, seeing where the deficiencies are at. And for me, it really was just the asymmetry between the legs. It comes from a lot of things. Obviously, the issues I've had in the past, with hamstrings, not fully recovering from those strength-wise. I've just been attacking the strength side of it, trying to get that asymmetry back, or the symmetry back in it. And it's been huge for me. I've been feeling really good. Just kind of continue grinding at it.
Do you feel?
So that's to me, that's really interesting. We've heard about how we all have smartphones, and we all know they're pretty amazing, but they also can be amazingly distracting, especially when we're around other people. So US Cellular wants us to reset our relationship with our phones by putting down our phones for $5. That's right, a company that sells phones wants us to put down our phones. And to see what we find, learn more at uscellular.com/built for us.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Jewelry isn't a gift you give just once. It's a way to remind your loved one of a beautiful moment every time they see it. Blue Nile can help you find the gift that says how you feel and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com to find the perfect jewelry gift for any occasion. BlueNile.com.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
There is a solution, right? We figured it out, which is great. In theory, you know, I'm a skeptic, so it's possible that you found something that can contribute to it, and you found a way that can possibly fix the thing that we think is the symptom that causes the hamstring, but we don't know. But at the end of the day, he's working real hard to fix a deficiency that can cause hamstring injuries. Hopefully he gets the symmetry back, and hopefully the symmetry can help lessen, if not eliminate, the hamstring issues. That doesn't mean he's never going to have a hamstring issue. Doesn't mean he's not going to have other issues. But it feels good to finally have somebody say, yes, we've definitively figured out a problem. We know how to fix it, and we're working on it, and he should be a lot better now. Rather than, I don't know, man, do some stretches. You know, make sure you're stretched out. You know, warm up, all that good stuff. Get the blood circulating. Here he is talking a little bit more about that.
Feel like you're all the way back to 100%, or is it still just kind of trusting that your hamstring is good?
I definitely feel like I'm at 100%, just in terms of what I'm able to do, on the football field right now. But I mean, there's still a little bit of asymmetry there, and that's just something I'm attacking, with the training staff in the weight room. But it's not enough, to hold me back from anything. Obviously, just got to continue to get that right so there's not any risks in the future.
So just to expand on this a little bit, just doing some minor research into asymmetry, because my mind went to, like, I'm convinced, I've never actually got it checked because who cares, but I'm convinced a lot of the issues that I have are due to asymmetry with one leg being longer than the other. That's a whole other thing. But when he said asymmetry, I'm like, you mean you're like leaning to the right or something a little bit? Apparently muscle asymmetry has more to do with the muscles having different strengths and flexibilities or. It's kind of like when you're doing, barbell curls and your right arm's strong and your left arm is weak, so it's kind of sagging on that side all the time. But it says when muscles are asymmetrical, they place uneven stress on the body during physical activities. For instance, if one leg is weaker or less flexible, it may not absorb shock as well, leading to overcompensation by the other leg. This imbalance can cause repeated strain on hamstrings, leading to recurring injury. So when he mentions getting his strength up, he wants to make sure that his right and left legs are as strong as, one is as strong as the other. And then also you got the flexibility there. So making sure that is taken care of. And it makes a ton of sense when you think about it. It's like, duh. And it would also make sense that one leg is, to some degree, stronger than the other. That's one of the things that happens all the time with people, and I think a little bit me, but I know other people where it's, you have a knee issue, and that could cause you to kind of compensate too much, which you can put some strain on your other knee, which could cause that knee to have issues, which can, because you're overcompensating, cause back issues. So you're creating all these new issues or hip issues or whatever due to all these other problems not being taken care of. So makes perfect sense to me, and I'm glad that they at least identified that. Doesn't mean there aren't other issues or contributing factors, but taking care of that here, just a couple things as far as rehab that can be done. So first of all, obviously they did the assessment. They found the asymmetry. They do strength exercises such as isolated strength exercises. So if your right leg is stronger, you can just work out just your left leg, your hamstring, your glutes, whatever, quads. Also working on functional strength, making sure that it's not just, leg press that's equal strength, but in terms of being able to cut, push, explode, whatever. Flexibility and mobility, neuromuscular training, balance type stuff, coordination drills, and then core stability. He said after that, it comes down to daily exercises, monitoring, and consistency. And then last one in this category here is Xavier McKinney.
So it's been fun. Have you played in a system like Jeff Hafley's defense in your career?
I have not. I mean, we do some things that I've done before. Obviously, I've told him, and we've had conversations. Like, I pretty much did everything. Ran every coverage at this point throughout my career. Just being at Bama, playing in New York with different DCs, and kind of being able to do different things. So it definitely has a lot of things that I've done before. So it hasn't been like that much of an adjustment for me because a lot of this stuff is real familiar. So it's just been fun just getting back into the groove of it.
I like Xavier, man. He seems like a good guy. He seems like he's bonding a lot with Jair, which is great. I want those guys to just be absolute animals out there that just they go out and fly around and just attack with and for each other. But man, I'm excited to see these guys on the field. I really am. I mean, obviously, I want Jordan to carve them up because it's freaking, we're talking best offense in the league, obviously. But man, that's scary. It sounds stupid saying it because they're probably going to struggle a little bit. They all got to learn different stuff. There's going to be a learning curve, et cetera, et cetera. But man, I don't even know if Bullard's going to be good. He might be garbage, but I'm just picturing Xavier and Bullard and Jair and Stokes. And I know nobody's excited about Stokes, but screw it. I'm excited about Stokes. I'm just going to say it. I'm excited about the guy. I made this mistake with Kevin King. I put my stamp on it. It was kind of similar to the Watson thing where I was like, oh, they found this issue and now it's fixed, and I was excited. Interrupted me. But it ended up coming back to bite me. I was excited. Like, this is it. Like, something happened. Something changed. I'm like, oh, this is what I don't care. Stokes is going to be fine. He's going to be a capable number 2. Jair is going to be at his absolute peak. These frickin' safeties are going to be amazing. I can't wait to see Bullard come up and frickin' knock somebody's head off. Quay and Cooper and whoever else you think is going to be the linebacker. And you know what? I don't care. Devontae Wyatt is going to kill everybody. I don't care if he's on the bench. He's going to find a way. Lucas Van Ness is going to blow up. I'm freaking out, man. I need more. I want to see it. I want to see an angry, violent defense attacking and killing people, except not our team, somebody else. Oh, all right. I gotta go take a cold shower. When we come back, we're gonna take some different categories here. We got some camaraderie stuff, kind of how these guys are all getting along, which is obviously great to hear. Some of the competition that's going on out there, some leadership stuff, et cetera, et cetera. We'll see how much of this we can get through, but we'll take our first break. We'll be right back.
Have you ever experienced turbulence on a flight and wondered why?
And you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
No, everything's PG.
Maybe you've sat on the tarmac for hours wondering why your plane isn't moving.
Well, we're outside here. They're saying the ramp is closed. They won't let us park because of Air Force One.
Listen in on the conversations between pilots and air traffic controllers on the Air Traffic Out of Control podcast.
512 Whiskey declaring an emergency. There's smoke in the cabin. I need to make a landing right now on 31 left.
We have the most interesting, wild, and funny ATC recordings you will ever hear. Check out Air Traffic Out of Control wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
All right, let's get started with Jordan Morgan again, talking about the culture in Green Bay.
As far as just getting into your first NFL locker room, seeing like Jordan Love and seeing all these guys that you've seen on television for the last couple of years, is it heady? How do you kind of wrap your mind around it?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I kind of, you mentally prepare yourself for like, oh, you're going to see these type of people in here. You're going to see these veterans, these really good guys, these 10-year guys, these 8-year guys, and these really great guys like Jordan Love. And I mean, you just come in here like regular. I mean, they're your teammates now, and you treat them like your teammates, treat them like your brothers. And I mean, nothing more, nothing less, pretty much.
How do you feel the camaraderie of the offensive line room is going? I know it's still early, but how do you feel like you guys are meshing together?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's cool, everybody's friendly, everybody wants to help out. A lot of the veterans want to help out. They give you pointers, they talk to you about film and on-field stuff, and I feel like that's important for rookies as well. I mean, you get the love from them, and it makes you feel more comfortable.
How much, I mean, looks like y'all had just about 100% attendance. How much your decision to come out here was to kind of show that leadership, to kind of convince the other guys to join you and be here for their volunteer process as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always a part of it, just showing up, and the other guys will follow too. But I mean, it's a testament to everybody wanting to be here, wanting to get that work in. Obviously, new defense going in, so those guys are eager to get out here, get those reps in, and learn what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to everybody being able to show up here.
Jordan Morgan had mentioned during rookie camp that when you came up to him the first time, he kind of froze a little bit. Like, that's actually Jordan Love there. Yeah. One, did you notice that? And two, just kind of what's that like now? Still a pretty young guy, but sort of being in that captain's chair.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I ever heard anything like that. So it was obviously it's different. I'm just myself. Don't think anything like that. But I didn't really notice it. They came in their first day, but you could tell the rookies are wide-eyed. Just first time being in the locker room and being around the guys. So it's cool just to be able to say what's up. And there's a lot on their plate. They're coming in. They're focused on the new playbook they're learning and figuring out everybody's name. So it's a lot going on for them, and I understand that. I've been there before. So yeah.
About this team that you have mastered the best participation he's ever had in organized optional team activities.
I think it's huge. I think that the energy has been there throughout this whole OTA so far. I think that there's a vibe and an energy that I haven't really felt since I've been here. And I mean that's exactly where we got to be. I'm not going to say anybody has to be here or anything like that, but it definitely is beneficial for us too. So just to see how we're attacking this offseason has been big.
This one's Keyshawn Nixon, by the way. We haven't played him yet, but here's Nixon's thought on similar issues.
It's pretty much perfect attendance outside of, I think, one person. What is it like to...
Who was the one person?
Rochelle.
Oh, yeah. He had a family emergency.
Still, though, to see as many people here, for what is essentially still a voluntary workout, that's nice to see.
I mean, I feel like we let a team off the hook last year in the playoffs, and we know that. And everybody on this team here for a mission, and we ready to win a Super Bowl. So we all here locked in, and it showed that we ain't nothing to play with. They'll be ready.
I love that so much. I love that. And he's right. The Packers let him off the hook. The 49ers did not play well. Packers very well could have, should have beat the 49ers, and they didn't. And Keyshawn's coming in, and he's like, yeah, we screwed that up. We're pissed. We're going to win a Super Bowl. F you. More or less. Unfortunately, that was kind of how Rasul Douglas handled things, and he didn't last very long, so I don't know. It'll be fine.
Coach LaFleur was saying that he didn't want to speak for you, but it sounds like you're getting adjusted well here. You got a house. How has the adjustment to Green Bay been so far?
Yeah, it's been good. I think it's similar to when I was in college at Bama. It's kind of the same as far as the flow. It's real slow pace, but kind of can do anything that you want at any time and not feel rushed. So it's been great, very slow pace, and just getting back to the basics is what I like to call it, and allowing me to really lock in on my craft and my job. So it's been good.
Do this season?
Oh, for sure. I think, like I said, I think everybody's locked in. I think we understand, and I think it's good too because us being young as a team, we understand the talent that we have on this team, and we do understand where we can take it if we work hard and do what we're supposed to do day in and day out. So I think that's just a credit to these guys in this locker room. Everybody's, like I said, everybody's been great. Everybody's came in every day with a great attitude and just ready to put the work in. And so I know it's going to pay off for us.
All right, now we're moving on to the next section. We're going to call it competition and performance.
The big words we've heard is competition. Yeah. There's a lot of competition in this offensive line room. How does that motivate you?
Yeah, I mean, every day you strive to be the best. You strive to be your best, and you compete with yourself first before you compete with everybody else, and that's the one thing I want to do.
Was there a turning point for you last year? I mean, for us on the outside looking in, we can say, okay, this game, that game, whatever. But did the light go on? Did something click at a certain point?
No, I don't think there was any one game in particular. I think throughout the season, every game, I learned so many, valuable lessons in every rep I took. So I feel like about halfway through is when I just started getting really comfortable, understanding more where I need to go with the ball, what I need to do out there to put our team in the best position, and just limit the mistakes, things like that. But I feel like every game I played, I learned a little bit and got a little bit more comfortable.
You were probably playing the position better than anybody at the end of last season. You're not the type to get complacent. But what are you expecting now that defenses have a year of 17 games, 19 games of film? They know maybe what some of your best strengths are, and maybe they're looking to poke holes. I mean, what's the challenge to make sure that you confirm what you did during the second half and keep elevating?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's always a challenge in football. I mean, teams, they spend that whole offseason scouting. Obviously our coaching staff spends that whole time scouting other teams and looking at what they did, and that's what other teams are doing to us. So, going into this year, the team's going to have a better feel of what we do, what we did good, and that's their job to try and figure out how they're going to stop that. So, I think that's the fun part about the NFL is you're always getting everybody's best. You're always getting the best competition, and you yourself got to find ways to get better. And when teams do a good job at stopping a certain concept or things like that, you got to find new answers. So that's always the fun part of going back and forth, playing that chess game. But at the end of the day, I mean, we got a very good coaching staff that's going to put us in the best position, and we'll also be able to adjust to what defenses might be doing and taking away from us, and we'll learn on the fly.
The new defensive coordinator and also new defensive structure right now.
I played in this defense my last year with the Raiders, so I'm comfortable with it. I like Coach Half. I like what he brings to the table, and his design of the defense. It's a little different than how I played it, but it makes sense.
All right, let's take our final break here because we only got 2 more categories. I don't know how long these will take, but some leadership quotes from from Jordan, Christian, and McKinney, and then some motivation and goals. And I think this looks like it runs through everybody: Morgan, Love, Watson, Nixon, and McKinney. Those are the 5 guys that had the locker room interviews, at least the ones that were posted on the Packers social media page. So we'll go through those at the back end of the break. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, let's start off with Jordan Love talking about leadership.
I'm more comfortable using your voice as a leader during this off-season program. Do you feel that way, A? And B, what does that look like? What things are you more comfortable saying and getting involved with?
Yeah, definitely. I think, my leadership's growing every year, even more now. I think it was tough, when Aaron was still the quarterback and I was the backup to try and, be in that leadership role and tell guys one thing when, he might want something said differently. So that was always tough. And obviously now being the guy last year, I try to elevate that role and just talk to guys more, being in guys' ear a little bit more, and just try and focus on being a better leader, things like that, talking to guys. So I think the more reps I get, the more comfortable I get, the better I get with these relationships with guys in here, it gets easier. So it's definitely something I've got better at every year.
Jordan heading into year 2 as a starter, as opposed to his first camp last year?
Honestly, it's hard to really say because I think that he had a lot of confidence and a lot of poise, starting out last year. I think that, we're just seeing, another level to him still even. I think that his confidence is, even greater. His poise is even greater. And he's leading this football team exactly the way that he should. So I'm excited to see how he keeps on growing.
Would you like to see him sign the dotted line and get that extension before the season starts?
For sure. I think it's well deserved. Obviously, I love having him as my quarterback. So, just to get that deal done and know that he's going to be here a while, I'm definitely going to be excited for him.
In that safety room, has any of them stood out to you?
All of them. I like to say this is the best group that I've been a part of since I've been in the league, and that's from me to whoever the last person is. Don't matter. I think everybody's done a great job. I think the talent level in our room is out of this roof, and it's gonna be fun to play with these guys because everybody's smart. So we all working off of each other, and we're able to build off of each other and compete with each other, make each other better. Yeah, good bit. Obviously, I got more experience than all of those guys in the room, but like I said, we all been working off of each other. We all still young. We still getting after it, but they have been picking my brain a lot. But it's been good though, because I've been able to kind of let them know just little small things that maybe they haven't seen before, and that's really all it's doing.
All right, so that was Xavier McKinney talking a little bit about the safety group and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, he's in a leadership role himself in his first year. Final category here, some of the motivation and goals. Again, we got a little bit from everybody. Actually, I'm going to skip Jordan Morgan. Don't worry about it.
Always there.
Coming off of that loss, do you feel like this group was a little more hungry to get back in the building because you might have had unfinished business last season?
Definitely. I think every year I've been here, there's you make it to the playoffs, it's going to be a tough loss, or you're winning the whole thing. So, last year, obviously, that 49ers game being that close and a game that, we had right there and we kind of let slip away from us, it's tough. But it definitely fueled us. I mean, everybody was hungry in the locker room after and ready to get back to work and ready to get back here. And that's why, everybody being here, you can see how hungry guys are to get back to work and get ready for this season.
I asked Steve Spagnuolo, what happened in Green Bay? He said, game plan execution. He said he actually wanted to come back to talk about how well you guys played that night. What's that like for this locker room with that win that you had against the Chiefs and seeing how close you are to maybe a Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, that's a really good team. They're Super Bowl champs, and I feel every team you play is a good team. But, like you said, it's a credit to the game plan that the coaches put in, being able to get us ready, prepare for the defense that we might see. So, throughout the week, we go over every look. That was my first start, obviously, and, we had a better plan this year for the all-out pressure, and I think we, were able to go out there and execute pretty well at a high level that game. So, but that's a test every week. You got to be able to put a good game plan in and then go execute it.
Or is that completely last year in the past?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think individually, guys will, take it and, kind of run with the idea that, we got to learn from that. But I think as a team, we're not looking back anymore. We're looking forward. Obviously, we have the goal of, making it to, the big game this year. So that's all we're looking at right now, and just making sure that, we're attacking every day with that mindset.
How are you feeling with the new kickoff rules?
They gotta see me, I guess. It's another rule they changed 2 years in a row. I feel like they changed it for me, but I ain't gonna tell Rich that. But I'm excited. It's gonna be good. They gotta give me the ball, so we're gonna see.
You were good the way it was, but this should suit you even more, shouldn't it?
We'll see. I don't really know how it worked for real. I try to watch like some of the XFL stuff. It's okay. They're not, it's a little different. Just getting back into the groove of it.
Keyshawn was just saying that this team feels like left a little on the table last year in San Francisco. What has been the vibe of the defense specifically with setting goals for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think we know what our goal is, and we know what we want to accomplish. Obviously, I wasn't here last year, so they can speak on that more than I can. But for me, I'm just coming in and helping anywhere that I can, and being that piece that I know they need me to be, and also making the guys around me better. So, like I said, we know what our end goal is, and I told the guys today, every day counts, because we're actually one of the first games to be played, which is a little earlier, and obviously it's out the country, so it's going to be a big game. So, just kind of letting them know that we got to be prepared, we got to take these days seriously in OTAs, and we got to make sure that we're on our P's and Q's come that moment.
OTAs are.
There you hear it from the team themselves. Again, nothing super earth-shattering there. I think the most revealing thing, if anything, was Keyshawn Nixon. First of all, not seeming super optimistic about the way things are going, seeming frustrated that he's not being given an opportunity, which is interesting, and also seeming like he really doesn't understand what he's supposed to do with this new kickoff thing. So maybe, I don't know if you put that on the coaches or put that on Keyshawn, I don't know, but I feel like he should have some general idea of how this kickoff thing works, But I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. You guys have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you tonight, tomorrow, whatever. Have a good one. Bye-bye.